Welcome to Quick Shots, a short format traditional archery podcast, where we introduce you to some of the world's most influential traditional archers, and occasionally, some random dudes. I'd like to send a big shout out to our sponsor, Archery Pass. For all your trad archery products, Archery Pass, making archery's past part of your future. ArcheryPass.com. Hey everyone, welcome back to Quick Shots. I'm your host, Mick Chambers. I'm here with Miranda Sparkes, who is, if I can just pull this up here, world archery silver medalist, 5-time Canadian national gold medalist. This could be not, I don't know if this is updated, 6-time provincial gold medalist, and 4 times Team British Columbia in single string archery.
Pretty good. Pretty good.
What? That's, I would die to have just one of those things. I have 0 of those things. I have negative of those things. And obviously look at her with a red shirt on today, representing Team Canada. I couldn't be happier to talk to a fellow Canadian. So what a great day. How are you?
I'm good. Yeah, everything is good in my world. The snow is melting down here, so we're happy about that.
And where's down here?
I live in the central interior of BC, so Kamloops area.
Yeah, no one knows. No one's gonna know that. You're gonna have to get your friends to watch this show. They're the only one. Kamloops. What's a Kamloops? I think I had that for cereal this morning. No, that's not.
I live in BC, Canada. Okay, that's the broad.
British Columbia. Oh yeah. All right. Yeah.
Yes.
Everyone's gonna be like, I had a friend who visited there once. I heard it's nice. It's pretty. Funny story here, really quick, and then I'm going to talk about you, but I'm going to talk about me for a second. My brother is currently teaching in the interior, British Columbia, on a reservation.
Okay.
In interior British Columbia. I can't remember the place, but he's just a random. It was random. We're from Ontario, but he's just like, I can go do this for a little bit. So strange.
You picked a good place. I mean, good place to be.
Well, how did you get give us your background. Like, how did you start in archery?
Okay, so I never shot archery growing up. Like, there's always the unit in like PE class where they teach you for like a week and that's all you learned in high school or elementary school, whatever that was. But other than that, like, I never had any archery lessons or anything like that. Until one day I had moved to this small town. I was new in town. I was working at the visitor center at the time. And there's this older gentleman that came in and he was looking for a list of all the accommodations in the surrounding towns. And I asked him, I was like, oh, what do you need this list of accommodations for? And it turns out it was for the Target Provincials Championships, which were happening within the next couple months. And I'd never heard of anything like this before. And he ran the traditional archery school in the town. And he is probably the most social person that I know. And he was just like talking and like talked my whole ear off that afternoon, which was nice because he was very friendly. He convinced me to go up to his archery school and kind of get started and try it. And I was like, I don't know if I want to go out and do this. So I had to convince my older sister to come with me because I wasn't going to go by myself.
Yeah.
So I got my older sister to go with me. We went to his archery school for one evening. He lent me all this equipment and I gave it a try. My sister didn't come back again. That was the only time she went. And since then, I've actually become great friends with the guy who runs the school, and we're still in touch now. And that was, I don't know, 6 or 7 years ago now, I'd say. And yeah, been doing it since.
Yeah, it's so hard. I mean, honestly, it's such a hard road. I mean, it could have been a little easier for you if you just said, no, I'm going to grab a compound bow. I think this should be fun. You know what I mean? Like, you're doing it the hard way.
I know. I started shooting a longbow because that's what he shot. So he was shooting a longbow. He could teach me how to shoot the longbow. He shoots with wooden arrows. So I was like, I guess I'm shooting wooden arrows. I guess this is what people do here. So, and I just have never switched. I've never even shot a compound bow before. Never tried it.
No, you don't need to. You're doing great. I mean, have you ever but have you ever like, man, I want to shoot a recurve bow. I want to try that. I'm going to do that. No?
I mean, no, I don't really have any desire to switch from what I'm at. I feel like you can always improve your longbow shooting. You're never going to master it. So like,
No.
I'm always just going to keep learning on this, get better equipment in what I have. I mean, I have shot a recurve, but I've never, more than 10 shots. I've never really stuck to it. So
No, and you're really good at stick with what you're good at. I guess. I don't know. I'm not good at anything. I'm not a 4-time whatever here. I mean, you're again.
I think I actually might have 7 national gold medals, I think, and 1 silver. But I mean, that's just little points.
When you have
here.
so many that you don't know, that's ridiculous. Okay, that you're being ridiculous now. All right, tell me about some of this though. Tell me about World Archery silver medalist.
Yeah, so I've been on Team Canada twice, which would be, they do it every 2 years. So my first Worlds were in 2017, which were in France.
Yep.
Which was, the whole thing was quite an experience. A lot of bumps in the road, but I would do the whole thing again the exact same way. I ended up, because it was my first large international competition, I ended up placing 21st in my category, which coming out of that, I was pretty pleased coming home with that.
Sure.
And the next Worlds I did were in 2019, which Canada hosted, which was very exciting to do it on home soil.
Yep.
And individually, I placed 5th, which I was blown away by. It was a very tight race at the end there. So 5th, I was very thankful for. And then because I had shot so well as a couple other girls on our Canadian team, they had also shot well. So we did women team shooting at the Worlds, and that's how we got a silver medal. So I got it as part of the women's Canadian team.
I might put the video up here. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
The video's been hit like 1,000 million times right online. It's so cool. And then I didn't know who you were. I didn't know anyone on the Canadian team. I was like, I don't know any of these people. Maybe I'm not Canadian, because everyone thinks that they first, hey, do you know Tom in Canada? Yeah, I don't know Tom in Canada because it's not that small a place. All right. But yeah, again, I didn't know anyone on the team, but I was so proud of you guys, and how well you did, especially on home soil. So that was pretty awesome. It was pretty
Mm-hmm.
cool. Pretty cool. And I have friends, on the women's team here in the United States. So, and they've been on a few, Fawn Gerard has been on the show just recently. And so there's I hope there's some friendly competition going on there. Or do you guys absolutely hate each other? Or do you hate?
No, oh my gosh, everyone was so nice. Like everyone you compete against is I feel like everyone in the archery community knows everyone, and everyone is so happy, and everyone wants to help each other, and nobody's out to get anyone. We're all very tight-knit, happy community, I feel.
Come on, I want to hear the bad stuff. Don't give me all the good. Don't be so Canadian. Okay, let's imagine you're not Canadian for a second. What kind of nasty things do we want to talk about? No, I'm just kidding.
I got nothing.
I got nothing. That's funny. And so is it this year, Italian over in Italy? Have you done your qualifiers or?
In Italian, cancel this.
So team trials to make the Canadian national team to go to Worlds are being held in June. So in June, we shoot the team trials, and then we find out if we make the Canadian national team, obviously. And then this following September, we would go to Italy, obviously, if I make the team, but I'm fairly confident I'll make the team.
Good. That's good. You should be. You're a competitor, right? You seem like a competitor. So yeah, happy go. Yeah, I love it. Yeah, you're going to make it. No worries. And then it's in Italy this year. And that's quite I heard the last time the team was in Italy, it was difficult. There was a difficult road.
I think so. Yeah, I think it was. I'm just hoping when we went to France, on our flight over, myself and my coach, who was the guy who got me started in archery, he was also on the world team, Brock. We had lost all of our luggage, our bow, our arrows, everything when we arrived in France. And when the team is going out practicing, the few days before Worlds start, we're like, all right, well, we're just going to support. We got nothing to shoot. We can't practice. We kind of explored the small town we were in. And our bows and arrows didn't show up until 10:30 at night, the day before Worlds started. So the day before we were supposed to compete, our bows finally showed up, thankfully, and it was like literally in the nick of time. So when we go to Italy for this next international competition, I'm just praying that does not happen again.
What? Yeah. What bow? What are you shooting? What are you going to shoot in competition?
Right now, I actually have it. I'm going to show the people. It's very beautiful. This is
Yes.
I'm shooting it's a Java Man.
Yeah.
It's called the Impala Express.
Yeah.
He's out of Michigan.
Yeah. We know him very well.
Oh my gosh, this bow is beautiful. I absolutely love it. It's 40 pounds at my draw weight, which is 26. So 40 pounds at 26. It's 68 inches long. Obviously, it's a long bow.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. That's what I like.
Yeah. No, it is great, and he makes great equipment, doesn't he?
Oh my gosh, and he's fantastic to deal with. Like, he is the nicest guy. Anyone who wants a longbow, like, he is the guy.
Okay, I don't mind giving a shout out to Java Man Archery in Michigan. Literally, when you have a bowyer like that is just constantly doing great stuff. I mean, he's making limbs now too. He's doing like ILF limbs and stuff like that. So yeah, give him a shout out. What about arrows? Where are you getting arrows from? You're in Canada, so you just chop a tree down, right?
Yeah, essentially, I just chop it down and spin my own arrows.
That's awesome.
No, my arrows are these bad boys, very beautiful as well.
Pretty.
They are Sitka spruce, I believe. They're by True Shaft Archery, which is on the island here. And then they're made this beautiful by Stump Stalker Archery. Again, he's in Haida Gwaii now. So yeah, they're wooden. Obviously, they're 40 to 45 spined, about 340 pounds. Oh my gosh, 340 grains. 340 grains. Oh, and actually, the cool thing about these new ones that I just got, my cock feather is by Wild Fletchings, and they're it's a wild turkey feather.
Yeah.
Which I just thought was the coolest thing.
Yeah, Wild Fletchings, they're great. They're great people. They have a great product, I should say. I think I love them. I love Wild Fletchings. I mean, they last forever. They last in the rain. They'll shoot anywhere. I mean, they're so much better than just a regular like a True Flight or whatever. I don't want to call anyone out, but Wild Fletchings, they're so good because they are wild turkeys. He takes you. Yeah. You kill the turkey. He's going to tell you how to send in the turkey feathers, and then he gives you half back or something. Whatever deal he has going on, but it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool, and he's a nice guy too. So, yeah, that's good. You got that? Did we get all the sponsors out, or all the people?
Usually all of them. My bow and my arrows. That's what.
Okay, but what does it feel like having that? Wearing the Canadian shirt, does it put added pressure on you?
I feel like, yeah, I guess yes, but I don't really feel like obviously I want to do well. I want to show off for the country. I also want to do well for myself, but I don't feel like it's that much pressure, and I don't want to like be overconfident, but I know I'm a good shooter, and I know I'm going to do well in these competitions, that I don't really feel that pressure. Like, I just enjoy shooting so much that when I go out, I'm really just out there having fun. Like, I'm not really thinking about how much pressure there is on me if I don't do well, because I'm just out there to have fun. And if I do well, I do well,
Yeah, I guess. Okay, how about this? What's your shot process? Like, when you take me through, you're in France or you're in Canada, and you're walking up to that, that turkey shot, which is, really, really hard. It's going to be a really hard shot. Or do you even think that?
Okay,
tell me your whole story here.
Yeah. So when I walk up to the target, so mainly I shoot 3D archery. So when you walk up, I look at the target, figure out what it is, obviously. And then my first thing is I kind of gauge the distance. So I want to know how far I'm shooting. So in my head, I'm kind of like counting out how far I think it is. And then from there, you obviously turn, and then if my target is this way. Line up your shoulders, look down. I got my bow in my hand. It's down. And as I'm looking this way, I'm kind of again seeing on the target where I'm going to be aiming, and then pick my spot. And then I guess obviously at this point I'd have my arrow knocked.
Okay.
I pull out my bow. I don't know. And then I just make sure my shoulders are square. I've never actually had to like walk through my process, so it's just like so natural now. Yeah, like pull up my bow to where I want to aim from, and then kind of pull back and let her go.
Grip and rip it. Okay, so no, I think people should understand that when you get to your level, it's probably more. It's ingrained, right? You don't have to think about it. You just get, and if you have to think about it, you're in trouble probably. I've been getting conflicting advice on how to shoot, right? And I'm trying to get better. And a lot of that is, so one way you're saying, hey, this is sort of like, it's ingrained. I know what I'm doing. I get up there. This is what I do. And another a method of people trying to deal with target panic and with just anxiety in general of coming up to a target and wanting to do well. It's like, hey, follow your process. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Go through everything. And then once you execute your shot, you don't have to worry about anything else. You're just executing the shot and having fun, like you said, So it's interesting for you to say, nah, I just do it. And it's kind of, I don't know if you know who John Demmer is, but
yeah, of course.
Yeah. So he's very much like that too. I don't think he goes 1, 2, 3, 4. He just goes, no, I'm up. I'm always here. And then I aim. So I want to talk to you about a specific part of that. I'm going to get in a little bit more detail than I normally do on my one. I love you. You're Canadian. And two, I feel real comfortable on Canadians. And then two, I just got back from the range shooting with Jeff Hale, who finishes usually around 5th place in IBO World Championships. Usually he's kind of in that 4th, 5th place spot, 10th. He's always in the top 10. But anyway, and he was offering a lot of advice to me today. So I want to dig into what you think, because then I can tell him he's crazy, because you're a champion and I don't think he's a champion. So, but he's really, really good. So listen, how are you aiming?
What do you mean? Like,
how do you aim? How do you aim your longbow?
When I go up to the target, so I'm putting my point of my arrow, so I walk up to my target, I figure out what the distance is. I've shot enough to know what my gaps are, to know if I'm shooting 30 yards, I have to shoot this high, or if I'm shooting 15 yards,
So that's my first. So that's that's part of the first. So you're a gap shooter.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you're a gap shooter, and you kind of have to be, right, because your fingers are up against the nock for your competition for what you do, longbow with wooden arrows. What's that called? Instinctive in world archery?
Just called longbow.
It's just called longbow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, but the rules are wood arrows, longbow, like the string can't touch the limbs, and fingers up against the nock.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right? You can shoot split, or you can shoot 3 under in my category.
Good. Okay. Then you're shooting your gap, so you're using your point to aim.
Mm-hmm. So I would put whatever I determine my gap is based on the distance away the target is. I'm going to put my point of my arrow on that spot, and then when I get it there, that's when I know at the bottom of a breath is when I'm going to let go of that string.
Really? So you're in that much control. That's amazing to me, that you can hold it there and go and then release. That's
yeah, I just find that when I'm at the bottom of a breath, there's no movement before you take another one. So I know I'm going to be the most sturdy. I'm going to be the most where I'm supposed to be aiming. And that's when I let go.
That's awesome. That's pretty good. So I'm learning something. I'm just trying to learn from you. I mean, this is not a quiz. This is me kind of, I'm stealing everything you got. I just think it's amazing that people at your level, just how you think. It's so interesting to me, because there's so many people struggling. So many people want to be great at archery. And so many people just want to have fun, right? There's really just usually 2 camps, or people who want to have fun but are good, just naturally good. But it does take a lot of, how much time do you train a week?
Well, leading up to major competitions or even just like local competitions. Like I'm regularly shooting probably at least five times a week. And then you're shooting 50 to 100 arrows or more in those training sessions. Obviously in the past couple years, since everything has been canceled, I really haven't been shooting that much. So I have a little bit of ground to cover this year. So I'll probably need to practice a little bit more leading up to especially team trials. They just moved indoor nationals for Canada to April. So I obviously need to get started on my training program like yesterday.
April. Oh my God.
Yeah, right. So definitely at least five times a week during competition season.
Wow, that's a lot of it. Okay, here's a question for you. How, I mean, you don't have to answer specifically, but how expensive is it for you to shoot wood arrows? Like, isn't it super expensive? You got to be busting them. Do you bust them a lot?
I mean, when I started, very expensive. I'm like, why am I shooting wooden arrows if I keep breaking them? Obviously, the better you get, the more you learn your arrows. I should not be breaking them. Like, if I'm not hitting a target, like, I need to work on my own skills. So I mean like
banging into each other and like on targets, and it's just I just think.
Yeah, I mean, I did break one the other day, so it still happens. It's devastating when I break an arrow because they aren't cheap. But the nice thing is, like, also when I do break an arrow, I'm like, wow, I'm doing very well. My shots are the exact same. I broke my own arrow. Like, it's also a good sign, I feel. Yeah, it's expensive, but it's a good sign.
I know everyone has to show their Robin Hoods on Instagram. And I just think, oh my gosh, I feel sad for that, $15 worth of, because you got an arrow, it's $15 or like $10-15 in between there. And then you put wild fletchings on there, which are the best you can buy fletchings, but they're super expensive too. And, it's just like, it's an investment. And then, having it all put together for you, it's just, anyway, my point is, it would have been easier for you to just go recurve with some carbon arrows.
Right.
But no, you have to go the hard way and do it. Now, do you ever, now this is a set of left field. Do you ever, are you nerdy? Are you geeky? No, but doesn't that, being a longbow person, it's kind of like that it's a very niche area, don't you find?
I feel like I should know more about the science behind archery, and like I should know more about my arrows and the spine and everything. Like, I know what works for me, so I'm just going to keep going down that path. I probably couldn't teach someone about the science behind why it works for me, but I found what works for me, and I'm just going to keep going down that path. So I'd say I'm not really that geeky into it.
No, I don't. I kind of didn't mean that. I kind of meant like cosplaying and those type of people love longbows and stuff. Not like geeky is like, I know the science behind it. Okay.
No.
There's definitely a Venn diagram that overlaps those two. I'm telling you, because everyone I know 100%. That shoots longbows is like, okay, well, I'm a little nerdy. They're a little bit, they do those things, which I love, by the way. But
I'm
anyway,
like far out of that Venn diagram.
Oh, are you? You're on that side. What do you do other than archery? What other fun things? Or do you do anything? Just hang out?
We do a lot of, we're just very outdoorsy. So anything outdoorsy I can do, like, I don't know. We do a lot of things around the house. Like, we get firewood, we go hunting, we do the whole outdoor lifestyle, camping, those kind of things.
Are you a hunter? Did you say?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, nice. So what do you hunt?
Up here, mainly I've just done mule deer and whitetail deer up here, and then grouse hunting, of course. I haven't gotten I'm just kind of getting into it over the last handful of years, but haven't gotten too far, but it is growing to be a passion.
Yeah, no, that's hunting's awesome. And especially, have you taken anything with your longbow, or are you?
No. I've definitely taken it. I've taken it out before. I haven't taken an animal with my longbow as of yet, but it is a goal. It will happen in due time.
Yes, it will, for sure. I shot my first doe 2 years ago with a longbow. It was this crappy Bodnik slick stick. You guys don't buy those.
It works.
They worked, but when you put something like a Java Man, longbow in your hand and compared to it's just night and day. It's like absolutely night and day. And so I saw him at ETAR, so I got to look at some of his bows, some fantastic stuff. He's sold out all the time too, by the way. So you got to get your orders in.
Yeah, I unfortunately have not met him in person yet. One day.
Well, have you ever thought of coming to ETAR? You know what that is?
I did the last time it was held, wasn't it like Eastern US or something? Like
yeah, it's in Pennsylvania.
it was just,
Eastern Traditional Archery. Yeah.
Yeah, it was just so far to travel, so I did not go.
Do you have anything like that in Canada?
We actually hosted our archery range hosted the national longbow safari, international longbow safari. What was it called?
It's okay.
Something along those lines. Oh my gosh, it was like a handful of years ago, but we did host it. So that was pretty cool because we did have people from all over the States come up for the shoot. So that was fun.
Yeah, I mean,
it was a North American longbow safari is what it's called.
Who doesn't love to be eaten by mosquitoes and bitten by black flies? I mean, who? Like, who among us doesn't love that?
So tempting. Go on up, guys.
It's so funny. All my buddies are like, I live in Kansas now, and they're like, we should go up bear hunting in Ontario. And I'm like, yeah, no, I'm not going. I'm not going. They want it because I have friends that have, they have land in Ontario, and they're like, yeah, come on up. You can hunt bear. We'll make sure everything's nice and legal and all that stuff. But it's just black fly central there. I don't know how you can sit in a tree for that long. And people don't realize how many black flies there are in Canada.
We're like overrun by mosquitoes here. So
yeah. Did you get a lot of snow this year?
People tell me we did not get a lot of snow. Any snow to me is a lot of snow. I grew up in a desert, so any snow is a lot of snow, but I guess we did not.
Wait, I missed that part of your story. What desert did you grow up in?
I grew up down in the very south of BC, along the Washington border, and it's the only desert in Canada. It's called Osuyas, which is very hot and dry down there, which I adore.
Yeah, that's cool. I had no idea that even existed. That is pretty neat. British Columbia is so massive, though, right? I mean, Canada is so massive. Especially British Columbia is a big province.
Yes.
And it's so different. It's so different. You got the coast, you got the mountains. Apparently, you got a desert, which I had no idea.
You're right. But you literally can get every like weather you want in this province. So I like to say I live in the Arctic now because I find it very cold, but I don't actually live in the Arctic. I just live in snow.
Hey, one piece of advice you give someone starting off in archery?
Okay, I would say find a club or like someone who knows archery so that they can kind of help you get you started, and then also get you excited about it and take you to these 3D shoots, because that's what hooked me, going to the 3D shoots across the province with all the people in the community. Like, that was the fun part for me, meeting everyone who's doing this also. And then upon going to all these shoots, you will meet a ton of people that everyone wants to give you advice. I don't know if it happens to everyone, but it definitely happened to me. Everyone wanted to give me some kind of advice, which was helpful for sure. But I feel like what works for someone is not going to work for someone else, is not going to work for the next guy. So whatever you learn from everyone, piece of advice, like, take it and then figure out if it works for you or not. Like, don't take everyone's advice as gospel.
Great.
Listen to everyone and then just practice and keep practicing until you learn what works for you. And obviously don't give up, because it is a learning curve.
It's a hockey stick.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thanks very much for joining the show. I appreciate this. Silver medalist, world silver medalist. That's fantastic. Get on the show. My show is getting better and better, and it's because of you. It's just unbelievable. Thank you very much for being here. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. I loved it.
Okay, awesome. We'll have you back sometime. All right. Thanks everyone for listening. Thanks for everyone for watching. Hey, don't forget to check out our sponsor, archerypass.com. They're a traditional archery shop. And don't forget to subscribe and like this video. And then where can they follow you?
Oh, I do have most active probably on my Instagram account, which is woodshooting.rand. Because I only shoot wood arrows, obviously. So
Again, I'm going to put it above her head so it's a little bit easier for you guys to follow, and I'll put in the show description. You can check it out and then follow her. All right. Thanks very much, everyone. We'll talk to you soon. Everyone stay safe. Be kind. Talk to you later.